I think I might have just discovered the best game on Nintendo Switch, and it's been sitting on my console unplayed for over a year. I'm Kutski, and this is my review of Gunlord X.
Get ready!
The original Gunlord was a retro-style side-scrolling run-and-gun, very reminiscent of the classic 90s home computer hit Turrican. It was originally released in 2012 on the Neo Geo and Dreamcast, two systems which were long discontinued by the time this game was released, so I'm not sure whether it would class as homebrew, technically. But regardless, the game was very well received by the retro gaming community, but it got limited exposure due to the somewhat obsolete systems that it was released on. In 2019, the small development studio NG Dev revisited the game, filed off a few of the rough edges, added some extra content, and released the game as Gunlord X on current gen consoles. The game plays like your classic run-and-gun shooter with a healthy dose of influences from Metroid with the maze-like level design and roll attack, and the 360-degree beam attack from the Turrican series. There are various different weapons to collect throughout the stages, along with collectible diamonds and super diamonds, the latter of which, if you collect all of them in a stage, give you a permanent extra continue which you'll need to get through the later levels of the game, which get pretty intense, but never overly difficult, and certainly never feel cheap or unfair. There's a decent amount of variations in the level, from exploration to action to platforming, even some shmup stages, and the gameplay in all of them feels tight and responsive. After just a few moments with the game, I knew I was going to enjoy my time with it. You know when a game just feels satisfying to play? Dead Cells is another game that comes to mind, instantly gave me that feeling. The graphics look great, very much modelled in a 16-bit home computer aesthetic, with a variety of screen settings such as optional scan lines, which I'm usually not a fan of, to be honest, but you can adjust the intensity of them, and I found setting it to about 30% in the game gave a great effect. The original Gunlord, I believe, was presented in standard 4:3 aspect ratio. Some work appears to have been done to update this, as the game plays clearly wider, but as you can see by the small borders on the side of the screen, it's still not true 16:9 widescreen. But I just turned off the borders on the side and soon forgot about it. The soundtrack is equally as impressive, with a distinct 90s European video game trance vibe. Reading online, the difficulty of the original Gunlord was a point of contention with a lot of people. In Gunlord X, they've added some more modern conveniences, such as the ability to start the game from the beginning of the stage that you're currently up to. But the game's still far from easy. I initially hit a wall at the level 4 boss and thought my time with the game was up, but the playability of the game was so fun, I was quite happy to go through the previous stages again to collect all the super gems, to get more continues, to brute force my way through, and ended up actually completing the entire game after about 15 hours of gameplay. I'm not good at video games, so if this game was challenging but beatable for me, I think they probably got the difficulty balance right this time, to be honest. A couple of other side notes that I wanted to mention. The install size of the game was only 156 megabytes, making it ideal for those short on space, and I was playing this mostly in handheld mode on my launch model Switch, which has been heavily used over the years, and I noticed the battery seemed to last forever on it. I think things like this often get overlooked, but I wanted to make a point of appreciating the efforts by the programmers to make the game so compact and to run so efficiently. Another point I wanted to bring up is the price. The game was only £8.99 at launch and regularly features in sales. The closest comparable game I can think of is Turrican Flashback, which has just been re-released on the Nintendo Switch 2 for a price of £24.99. Now granted, you do get 4 games for this price, and I love Turrican, but I don't think any of these old games are going to play as well as Gunlord X does today. I'm embarrassed to say that I've had this game sitting unplayed on my Switch for over a year now, but it has instantly become one of my favourite games on the console. Considering the price, the gameplay, the longevity, I can't recommend Gunlord X highly enough, and it is a must-have for anybody that has any interest in retro-style games. Hope you've enjoyed this review. As always, if you've made it this far, please do like the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to keep up to date with more content like this. It does help me a lot. And let me know in the comments below the oldest game that you've got in your pile of shame backlog. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Kutski signing out. Keeping the games alive. Catch you soon.